Welcome back, everybody, to the Survivor Girl podcast. Thank you so much for joining in and tuning in today. I really appreciate you guys all being here. Before we get started, disclaimer, I am not a professional. I'm not trained to treat, prescribe. I am only here to hopefully tell my story, share my story. When I have guests on, they share their stories to uplift and hopefully help you feel that you're not alone. So thank you again for tuning in. I do appreciate that very much. Also, I want to say that Survivor Girl podcast, I speak a lot about positive and things that I've went through, some traumas, different things like that. But it is purely for entertainment purposes. So thank you for sharing that and doing your own due diligence to be able to check out everything that we talk about and do your own work in that. So thank you guys again. I appreciate it. I am thankful to be here. I have a lot of stuff to talk about. Last week we kind of talked. I was kind of all over the board. But it was stuff that I felt like I really needed to talk with you guys about. And one of the things I kind of talked about, I'm going to get into today right off the bat, is talking about our phones and getting sucked into that, and how last week I was talking about getting likes and feeling that euphoric feeling and being happy about getting these likes and going, okay, yeah, this is great. But I got to thinking about it this past week after we talked a little bit about that. And it really is interesting how we pay so much attention to our phones and we aren't really living in the moment. And I know a lot of people talk about this subject. I've talked about it before. But now, like I was talking earlier, I have my watch that's synced to my phone, and it goes off when my phone goes off. So if I don't have my phone in my hand, my watch is alerting me to let me know that I have something on my phone to check out, and it just gets into the snowball effect. And I something hit me really hard with that today. I seen a post on Facebook that said when phones were wired and corded, we weren't attached, and now we have phones that aren't, and it's with us all the time. It's everywhere we go. We use it for everything. Yes, we use it for our emails. We use it to message and text people. We a lot of people, and I'm kind of one of these people that don't really talk on the phone as much. It's just easier to text because I can work on things and keep moving forward with what I'm doing. So I feel like I've missed out on that connection with people of actually having a phone call conversation. And I feel like that's a big thing. I feel like we don't do that as much anymore. But I also feel like I don't set time aside to do those kinds of things. I just get caught up in my day and I keep on chasing the red light on the phone. Like essentially, we're kind of like cats chasing after that red laser on the phone to get those notifications and things. And it really like hit me. It hit me hard today about that because my phone's always blowing up, and that's part of doing podcasts and doing media, social media, and things like that for podcasts and just in general connection. That's how we connect with everybody, and it's huge. But I got to thinking about it, and is it easy to put the phone down and keep keep living life and pay attention to what you're doing in the moments? Maybe for some, I left my phone at home one day and I went to work, and that was the strangest experience for me because at work I'd listen to audiobooks on my phone and, take pictures of the ornaments that I would do. And it just felt weird. I felt like something, I don't want to say like something bad was going to happen, but it was like a weird anxiety because usually we're used to having our phone on us when we're driving. If in case something happens, that's a convenient thing that we have available with having a phone with us. Unlike how it used to be where you'd have to go to someone's house. Now that's kind of a nerve-wracking thing to have to do if you break down and you don't have a phone. They kind of look at you like you don't have a phone. Why is that? But you know what I mean, though? There's times in the day where we should set aside for ourselves, we should take some time. And I started thinking about that this morning because I was making a list up of things that I want to do for myself, that I need to do for myself and my health. I talk a lot about self love and all this kind of stuff. And then I stopped myself and went, wait a minute. You're not doing that. What are you doing? Where did you get that misstep? What happened? So I'm gonna be real and raw with you guys about that. I had a misstep for the past couple years. I've had a big misstep. I started kind of just. I mean, I do eat good, but then old ways come back, and I eat some junk, some crap food. I'll say. It's easy for to grab the convenient stuff instead of actually. I watch people put together their whole weeks of food and everything, and I look at it and I go, how are you doing this? Like, what kind of wizardry is this? Because it's never been a big thing for me to do. I can do an overnight thing and get things ready and packed and whatever, but it's it's another thing. It's up here. It's been up here. I had the weight loss surgery, and it helped me out. It helped me out tremendously, and it was something that was something I made a decision for. I am not pushing this for anybody else. I just want you guys to know that before we even get any further into this. It helped me out tremendously. It made me lose weight to get to the point where I felt amazing. I could do stuff. I could bend down and tie my shoes. There was so many things that you can't do when you're 352 pounds. When I was like, there's a lot of stuff I couldn't do. Going up the stairs was horrible. It took me so long, and it was defeating. Like, I felt defeated, and I used to go, well, I was raised, and we ate all kinds of different stuff. This is what we were raised on, but I picked up those habits after I was on my own. I didn't have my mom or my dad coming over and cooking my food for me. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that I got was just what I could get by on. And we talked about that on Don't Make This Weird, that podcast. My cart like would be ramen noodles and easy stuff that was just carb loaded, bad for you. So bad for your health. And of course I didn't make the ramen noodles like you normally would a soup. I put butter in it, and then I put the packet in, and that's how I would eat it. But it wasn't just one pack. Like, it just me my addiction with food has just always been a thing. It's been a thing, but I want to stop that. I want it to stop here. And I'm talking real and raw with you guys because I went through that. I had the weight loss surgery, and I started gaining weight back, and I don't want to be that person that misses out on life because I'm like, I gained weight back. I don't want people to see it. Okay, it happened. It happened. I did. Am I angry at myself? No, not really. I'm going, why? What happened? How do I not deal with this with kid gloves on, but also go, okay, you need to get your butt up, and you need to take care of this, and you need to stop it now, because I know me. I will roll down that hill and I'll continue, continue, continue. And I don't want to do that. I don't. Yeah, really. Really, like, seriously though, I don't want to continue down. I don't want to go backwards. Why would you ever want to go backwards when you're going forward? But we do this stuff. We do this. Whether it's because we're scared, fear, self sabotage, afraid of success, or we just really want the cheese doodles. I don't know, but we have to think about that though. Like, seriously, you have to really think of why do we continue to keep doing this? What is it? How can we fix it? There's a big thing that I've noticed lately with people talking about breaking the stigma, breaking the chains, breaking the circle, stopping it. And a lot of times I don't think we look inside ourselves to do that, to break that, to stop that. I've always had a thing with food. Food has been a thing. It was there for me in some of the worst traumas and some of the bad things that I faced. I would go to food. It was always food. I can cook, I can bake, and whenever I don't eat, I can share with people, and they're happy. Why wouldn't I want to do that? And but I have to stop that. I have to think about these things. Like, I can still share with people when I make good stuff, obviously, but I have to get in here and I have to break it down because I know that I'm worth that. And that's why I took the journey in the first place. That's why I did all of the hard work. That's why I did the surgery that I was lucky to have for me because that was my decision. That's why I did all of that. So it just really hit me today. It hit me, and I started thinking about it, and I started writing down my list of stuff. And as I'm writing down, my phone's going off and I'm getting all kinds of notifications and stuff. My watch is buzzing, and I'm trying to focus. And Trying is a big word in that one because focusing sometimes is hard. Sometimes I'm hyper fixed on something and focused on something, and nothing is breaking that concentration. But, or three, four things, whatever. But that's going off, and I'm thinking about this. And before when I was doing really well, I would do a morning routine, and I would write everything down, and I had highlighters and all kinds of colors because that's what I did. That was how I worked, and that was okay. And I'd color, and I'd write down everything the night before, and I'd check that baby off, and I felt so great and successful about everything. I was like, yeah, I'm really doing this. I'm doing great, and I'm getting everything done. Even write down how many bottles of water that I needed a day, all that stuff. Like that was something that I was accountable for myself. I had that accountability, and I got away from it. I think I ended up not having one of the notebooks like I was using, or something just so off the wall that broke it, and I stopped doing it. And then I went to work, and that I got a little bit further because I had to switch up the routine to that. And I am a more like I'm a night and a morning person, but in the morning I do my best. If I wake up and I get myself going and I conquer that list, I can do it and I get it done. If I sit there and I go, well, I'm just gonna watch this and I'm just gonna do something else, I don't get it done. I won't. I'm not that person. I'm not that accountable. In the morning, I need to just hit it hard and just go. Otherwise, I will. I'll fall behind. I mean, I can get stuff done. I'm not saying it's just okay. My morning shot. I can't do this now. I can, but I prefer to take that morning time. So what I'm saying though was like the phone. I have to break free. I have to stop getting notifications on my watch and use it what I intend to use it for, which I use it to put my calories in and get my steps in and all that stuff. And some people don't really care for that, but it helps me. It really does. I stopped paying attention to that. I dropped down to the lowest on my friends list for Fitbit. And I've been sitting there for a long time. I was kind of up there, and I was going head to head with people. Me and Dawn were going head to head, and I stopped looking at my watch, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, why? But I would add my food in, and I would see what calories I did with the work and my steps and all that stuff. And I stopped doing it. I stopped being accountable. I stopped paying attention to that. And yeah, I went to, okay, I'm gonna give myself love. So I'm gonna watch, trash TV, and I'm just gonna, not do the things that I was doing so well with. Why did I break those habits? Why did we do that? Well, it happens. It happens to all of us. It happens to some of the people that are so dead set in their things. But here's the thing: how do you change that? You stop going, okay, I'm not going to continue to keep doing this every single day. It's okay to have a couple day or a day, break it up, whatever. It's okay to do that stuff. But my biggest problem for me is I don't get back on track sometimes. And that's a thing I need to remind myself of. And I bring this to you guys and I talk to you guys about this stuff because it's not like I'm trying to shove this down your throat or go, oh, I know all because I've done this and I, speak from experience. No, I want to talk about it. I want to get this out because it's been rolling around up there, and I feel like it's something I wanted to share with you guys. Getting off track can really derail you completely. And it's done. I've done that. I've done that. And so for me, I need to disconnect sometimes. Like I feel like in my morning when I'm working on my list of stuff that I need to do for myself, I just need to disconnect. I need to put that phone away. If I have to, I will make sure that nothing is connected to my watch, whatever it is. But in that sense, I kind of need that kind of discipline to be able to get my stuff done and to focus on it, because there's times I'll get messages and I'll be like, "Oh, got to answer that, or I got to clear it, I got to get rid of it, I got to do this," and then I get distracted. And then what happens? I'm on TikTok or Facebook, I'm just scrolling and I'm stuck in this downward spiral and I'm not getting what needs to be done. And I do that so easy. I'll sit there, and I know there's like a thing for that. There's some kind of I don't know what it's called, but I've seen other people that have done this. They'll be focused and wanting to get all kinds of stuff done, and that's what they do for the day. That's what happens. They get focused in on that, and that's it. That's all. And I want to change that about myself. I do, because I want to get to where I was intending to get to. And just because I make it there doesn't mean that I'm done. It means that when I get there, I can maintain. I was just talking with Dawn and Tony before the show, and I went, you know what? I'm 41 years old, and I've never maintained a weight for more than like a month or more. I'm proud of myself. Okay, well, hold on a second. I am super proud of the weight that I've lost because I'm still on the. I've still lost. I still have lost quite a bit. However, I need to get back to it, and I have. I started today. I went, okay, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this. And one track mind, you got to bring that out. You got to focus on this and get to that because it's important. You know, finding out what's important to you and what you need to do to keep yourself accountable. And weight loss is mine. Weight has been my battle. It's been my battle since I was 5 years old, and I know this. I've known it. I got a great tool with getting the weight loss surgery for me. That was a great tool. But then I started just going back to the old ways. It's still there. I can still use it, but I have to hone it in. I have to pay attention to what I'm supposed to be doing to use it. And then when I get to where I need to, what I feel is comfortable, happy, healthy for me. They ask you, what is the ideal weight that you want to be? And in the beginning, I had an idea, and I had my first one I wanted to get to. I was so close to reaching my first one, and then I just kind of fell off the map there. I didn't even make it to my first one. So I don't look at that. I'm not gonna sit here and call myself a failure because I don't feel that way. Disappointed, yeah, yeah, but I'm not gonna be mean to myself. Whatever it was, I need to dig in and I need to find out why. I need to get that under control, and I need to go, okay, this is what we're doing. It's time to keep moving forward, because if I sit here and I fight with myself about being angry and I'm dumb and I did this and it's stupid and I can't believe I did that, now I look like this and I did this, I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm going to be pushing towards a wall, because I'm going to be wasting time being mean to myself and not figuring out what it is I need to do to get it under control. Now, there's some people that have a hard time with the weight loss because of medical, and there's different things, medications, all kinds of stuff can come into play in this. I'm not sitting here saying and body shaming anybody, because I will never, ever, ever do that to people. I'm not that person. I will not do that, because I've been at almost every size from whatever to 352. So I was wearing a size 32 in pants before I got my surgery and all. Well, before I started that journey, I'd say. So for me, it's really honestly what it is for you to be healthy, what you want to do, where you want to be. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a number. You could just feel great at wherever you're at. I'm trying really hard to not focus on numbers as much. So that brings me into another part of the topics that I want to kind of talk with you guys tonight. And that is the age thing too. As you get older as well, I've been told that it's harder to lose weight, but I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to hear people tell me it's harder. I'm just going to do it. Like, I got to do this. So I keep thinking, I'm going to be 42 this year. And it blows my mind. It really does. It blows my mind. But I'm not mad about it. I'm not angry about that either. I'm thankful that I'm here, for one. But it's different. It's really interesting, because now I'm seeing like my godchildren be in their 20s, and other friends' kids are going to be in their 20s, and it blows my mind, because I just feels like I was there not too long ago in my mind. I'm like, wait a minute. And that killed me, seeing if you were born in 2000, you're old enough to drink now. I'm like, what? When did that happen? So, but I feel that we need to stop looking at the age thing, and we need to stop thinking just because we're this age that we have to stop doing certain things, and we have to stop wearing certain things, and we're not able to to live life, to do things, because it blows my mind when people get older and then they just completely stop doing a lot of stuff. They just don't get out, they don't do things anymore. And I don't want to be like that. I want to keep moving. Well, we're also talking about that, and in my family, the ladies live quite old to be quite old. My great grandmother was 101 when she had passed away. And her daughter is going to be 90 this year, I think, next year. Anyway, she's getting up there too, and a long life. And I think about this stuff and I go, okay, if that's gonna be me, and I'm not like, okay, I'm gonna be like, I gotta live to 100. I'm not even putting that on me. I'm not putting any of that on me. I want to live in today, and I want to keep living today and each day after that. I don't want to think about that. I mean, yes, you have to think about getting older. You do. You have to go, okay, well, I'm gonna be older, but do we have to really focus so much on that and go, I'm gonna be 50 and 52, whatever, all these things, back in these years, 10 years from now, I'm gonna be this age. I try not to be dreading it. I want to be excited that I'm still able to be here. I don't want to go, I'm just going to skip my birthday because I'm going to be older this year. No. Celebrate that. Celebrate that level. You deserve that. Honestly. I mean, don't I don't know many people that haven't gone through traumas and heartbreaks and losses and things, and sometimes it's hard to be okay after those things. Sometimes it's hard, and I'm thankful that I was able to grow from it instead of go backwards. Some people don't, though. Some people it's a challenge. And my heart goes out to you guys. It does. 1 second. I'm killing it with the water game today, by the way. This is bottle number 3. That's quite a lot for me. So, I want to be able to celebrate that. I continue to call it leveling up instead of, I'm getting older, because it sounds so much more fun. I'm at level 42 this year. Meaning of life, right? So, but when you can have that kind of mindset, it changes a lot. And we kind of talked about that last week too, like the power of positivity, changing your wording, doing these different things. We talked about that a lot on the show because I think it's really important. And I do. I think it's important. I think it's important to remember the way that we think changes a lot of the way that we act and the way that we move forward with things, Like that's like I said. Yes, I stopped on the scale today and went, "Whoa. What you been doing? You got some splaining to do." And it kind of it threw me back, but instead of me getting like sad and upset cuz for this whole I used to be over obsessive about the scale for a long time. Like it had to be hidden from me because I would not get off of the damn thing. One minute I'd eat something, I'd have to go check and be like, "Oh, that's so bad." And I'm glad I'm not there anymore. Finally, it's like, okay, but then you haven't been on in a minute and you step on and you go, "Oh, okay. All right, that's where we're at." But I used to cry. Like if I gained any weight, I'd cry after the surgery. I'd be like, "No, it's not supposed to be this way." What's life? And if you eat carbs and stuff that's not good for your body in particular, it can happen. It happens. It's gonna be a game, until I figure out how to balance. I don't want to go and be so obsessive over everything. I'm finally got to the point in my life where I'm not obsessing over my weight. So I got comfortable, I think. But now I'm going, okay, I just need to be healthy. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not really going for the big number of things and in my age, in my weight, in my waistline. I just want to be healthy. That's really what I want. And I don't know completely what that all looks like. I know some of it. I got a glimpse of it and I was doing well and I was so proud of that. So I want to continue on my journey to be healthy, and I don't want to look at things always from a bad point of view. I want to go, okay, yeah, I'm going to be 42 this year. That's good. That's a level. Let's party. Let's not like we used to. It's not the same. I don't anyway. Not like I used to. No, but let's embrace it. Let's embrace it and be proud of ourselves for leveling. We don't work so hard every day to be safe and try to take care of ourselves better to not see the results at the end there. We were thinking about that and I've mentioned Betty White because I absolutely rest in peace. I love her. I don't know anybody that's really said anything bad about her, to be quite honest. We talked about that, about getting to the end of your life and people going, I wish you could have just been around a lot longer. And she was 100. What does that mean to be like that? What does it mean to be a positive person like that and to just give love like that? For someone to say something like that when you get to that age, what does that mean? What does that look like? Think about this stuff all the time, all these different things about how to just to live, to love myself, and how to love other people, and how to live day to day. It's sometimes that's difficult to be in the now. And when you're so focused on what it looks like later on, it's hard to live in the minutes and these moments. And I'm working on that though. I'm really working on that because I focus too much on that, the numbers and what those mean, and I get obsessive about stuff like that. I when I lost mom, it was the dates. Dates. I got obsessive about the dates every month on the 14th. Oh, it's been this many months since she's been gone, and that's to me that was just it wasn't good. But I knew I was doing it, but I didn't know how to break away from it because I get in a mood and I'd be like, well, it's because it's the 14th. I knew it. That's why I'm acting this way. But then finally I got to the point where it was the like 16th, 17th, and I was like, oh, I got past the 14th. Okay. But numbers have always been a big thing for me, and I don't know why, but they always have. Maybe because when I was younger, the sizes of when I was younger, what sizes I were wearing already at that age, it could be that. I don't know. But I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to blame things on growing up, the way that we ate food, the things that we did. Because like I said, when I was on my own, I had the choice. And like now, I have the choice. I don't have to make the old food that we used to eat when I was a kid. I don't have to eat from a vending machine. I don't have to, I have to be responsible for myself, just like I feel we all kind of do. We all do have to take care of ourselves and figure that out. And I don't want to blame anything. This is my doing. I'm the one that grabbed the junk and ate it, or baked it and ate it, or whatever case it was. I want to be able to go, okay, you did this, now you have to take responsibility for it, and that's where I'm at right now. This morning it was a big eye opener with that, and I went, okay, and seeing a picture, I'm like, okay, that's really like what fired me up. I went, wait a minute, I didn't know, like a visualization, it can get your butt on the bike quick. And that's really where it was at this morning. I'm like, okay, get your list down. And like I said, when I wrote my list out of the things I want to do, I went, okay, this is your job. You have to take care of this. You are the only one that can take care of this. Yes, you can talk to a nutritionist. You can speak with your doctors. You can do all that stuff. Yes, that's all part of trying to figure out what it is that you need to run the best that you can for your life and things that you do. Honestly, and I recommend that. I recommend going and checking with a doctor and speaking with your therapist and different things like that, because we've talked about that before. Weight gain, weight loss, all this stuff, it's here. It's really in your head. There's a lot of things to figure out of why you do things the way that you do. I'm gonna go ahead and check over on my phone here really quick. I don't know if I have any. I didn't pull up YouTube. I did not. I didn't pull it up. Let's see here. Looking good from Canada. Hey, girl. Hey. Oh, it's Bass. Okay. Trina Lynn. Hi. Hi. And Adam saying sounding great. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. So, with that also being said, I'm going to talk about another thing too. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff because we got time. Um, when I decided today too, before the show, that I was gonna just do natural hair instead of my wigs, which I love. I will continue to wear them because that's what makes me feel happy. But I decided to go with natural hair today, and it's interesting for me because since being sick too, like I've started losing hair again. So it's I'm trying to be comfortable in how I am, and I always talk about that authentic self and all that stuff, and what it means to be comfortable is being yourself. So I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna talk about it, we're just gonna go natural hair and just do that. But like I said, I like all kinds of stuff. Sometimes I feel a little bit eccentric, and Elton John calls my name and I just put on whatever. It's fun though. I don't care. Like I'm at that age too where I'm just like I'm gonna wear whatever I want, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, that was a big thing growing up. My mom would always say, if they don't like it, they don't have to look. So I, I got that growing up, and that was my attitude for a long time. Well, what I thought my attitude was. Honestly, what it was I walk in a room and go, oh, they're looking at me. They don't like what I'm wearing. They don't. It's so weird. So weird growing up. I'm still weird. But no, I'm honestly, I embrace that though. I'm embracing it because I don't feel like what I wear. I don't wear anything that is offensive. Really, it was kind of interesting because on Don't Make This Weird, we had highly offensive hoodies come on, and I love those ladies. Absolutely love them. And I got one. But what I'm gonna swear, Tony. Wait, what does it say? What did it say? Oh, Queen of fucking everything. And I don't really wear it anywhere because I'm not a person that feels like I should like a boaster or anything. So I felt like if I wear this out, people are gonna see the shirt and then they're gonna think that I'm full of myself, and I don't feel that way. So I was like, I like it. I will wear it. I do wear it, but I don't wear it often, like to the grocery store or anything that stuff. Because yeah, it's again in my own head thing. But for the most part, I do. Okay, if this is what makes me happy, it is. And I feel like that's another thing, you know. Growing up, my mom would be like, "I can't wear that. It's too young for me." Mom, it's not Daisy Dukes. You're not wearing like it's covering you. I don't understand why it's too young for you. So I never understood, but then again, I was at a younger age too. But she was fun to go shopping with because she'd say, "Oh, I like what you got." Then she'd come home with the same thing. So, you know, I was like, "How can that be too young for you?" I don't really feel that at 41. I don't look at stuff and go, "That's too young for me." You know, I'm just like, "I like it. I wear it. That's what I want to do." So it's interesting when you think about that stuff, and that's why I wanted to bring out the whole stop worrying about your age and just be you. I mean, yes, it's a privilege to be the age that we are. Honestly, like I said, a lot of us have gone through traumas and all kinds of things, and we earned this age. We earned this. It's funny though when you when you meet up with younger people and you're like, I feel like I'm in that age. But then when they start talking, I'm like, nope, I'm not that age anymore. Absolutely not that age anymore. But it is interesting to talk to the younger generation too, because I feel like the old wise woman now. I'm like, hey, listen here, this is what can happen. It's so weird to be in this role. It really is to be. I think about that a lot because I used to laugh when I was younger, and it's like they don't know anything. They're just adults. And now I'm like, oh crap, I'm supposed to be an adult. Not really, but yeah. Also, Bass says, I almost thought you forgot about me. LOL. No, I know I didn't forget about you. I appreciate you chiming in, especially from Canada. I know you guys are always around. Well, not always around, but I do appreciate you guys jumping on. Really, above it, yeah. I've been to Canada several times, more when I was younger, but no, I appreciate it. That's why I went. I'll be honest with you. I did a lot of stupid stuff growing up, haven't we all, though? And I look back at it now and I go, what was I thinking? How much of that tragic trauma, all that stuff, did you cause by doing dumb stuff, right? But I'm happy to be where I'm at now with the things, and they talk about when you get older, you get set in your ways. I don't really know what my ways are, to be quite honest. I was talking with Adam this morning. He said, "Why do you even like me?" He's like, "Because you're always changing." I was like, "What? Am I? Am I always changing?" He's like, "Yeah, you're always." He goes, "You come up with some of the craziest things, and you're just like, I'm doing this today." I'm like, "Okay." And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. Probably a little bit, a little bit off kilter, but Tony swears by that I'm gonna take ice cream to Elon. just, just kidding, just kidding. No, it's interesting though. It is interesting getting older and all these things that we've talked about tonight because you see the world differently. I think when you get older, you do see a lot of things in so many different ways and changes of things. We talk about being younger in the different stores and stuff. Like I used to listen to my dad and my mom and them talk about that when they were old, or when they were younger and I was younger, and I was like, they're talking about things that don't exist anymore. Why? What is But you do. You talk about that stuff. You're like, "Oh, do you remember when this store was here? Do you remember when this thing was here?" And it's like, "Yeah." And I used to hate change. I used to hate it so much, and now I'm just like, it's everywhere. It's always, everything is always changing. There's so much change, and I was very uncomfortable with that. I was very uncomfortable with change for the longest time, and then I think when my mom did pass away, and when I ended up getting cancer and everything, I went, okay, this is a huge change. You're gonna be super uncomfortable for a minute, but then when you get out on the other side, you'll go, okay, this is where I'm at. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting being here and being able to have this opportunity to still be here. I thought about that a lot too. I got really deep in my head today, I guess, about having the opportunity to still be here, and how much that means to me. I watch a lot of people get very negative. I see a lot of negative stuff. We all do online. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it. And in real life, there's a lot of it. People just losing their minds. It's just losing their minds. But I'm still thankful to be here. I'm still thankful to still be able to do this stuff. And I try so hard to not go into the negatives of stuff. It's not really super hard for me to not get into a confrontation online. I'm just like, not my business. Scroll. And if it's something that I feel, I've gotten into that where I feel super passionate about stuff, and I go, okay, are you really wanting to get into this conversation? Probably not. But it's easy. It's easy to see the negativity everywhere. And that's why I try so hard to not have that. You look at everything differently in that way, where, like I said, got on the scale today and I could have flipped out. I could have ruined my whole day, but instead I went, no, we're going to think about this. We're going to sit and you're going to think about what you did. Basically, is what happened. It really was. It was like, nope, you're going to sit and you're going to think about what you did. Get on that bike. But really, that's really what it felt like. It was like, okay, and I don't think we do that though often. Don't hold ourselves accountable enough, I don't think sometimes. We don't think about what we've done. A lot of times it's other people's fault. How many of you have blamed other people? That's that person. They they You okay over there?
Shame, everyone know your name.
Right? Right. But seriously, like, I did. I got in my thoughts about stuff, and it was like, okay. I just don't think we do that enough. I don't think we stop and go, okay, why did we do A to Z? Why are we doing this? And I laugh.
Why is Heather doing this?
Exactly. Why is Heather doing this? But I do. Like, I keep to myself a lot too, though. And I think that's another thing where I'm getting not to that point. I'm talking more, but in the same sense, I do need to cut myself off too for those times to get stuff done and go, this is my time. But I've done that. Like, Tony and I have talked. He's messaged me. He's like, okay, can you do this, this, and that? Yeah, when I'm done doing what I need to do for me. And that felt good. Like, before, and not because it's Tony. Anybody though, I'm just like, I gotta do what I gotta do for me, and then I will definitely. And I used to feel weird about that when I'd say that to people. I'd be like, oh man, they're gonna be pissed at me. It's just, it's a weird feeling when you get just thinking of all that stuff, and you're like, oh, they're gonna be mad if I tell them. I found an old book that my therapist gave me, and I was talking with Tony about this not too long ago. The Assertive Woman was the book. It was in my nightstand. I never cracked it open. Or wait, there was two introduction was read. So I decided I was gonna look at it because I was like, she did give it to me, and I never looked at it. So I cracked it open, and I was kind of like, okay. It popped up in the thing, like, I'm on the phone. I'm not on the phone. I have a physical book. I'm reading it, and it says about your friend calls you and needs you to. You're excited. You have 2 hours to yourself, and your friend calls you and she wants you to babysit her child, and you were excited because you had 2 hours to yourself to do what you needed to do, get done for you. And it goes on the different scenarios about what you're going to do and how you feel about these different scenarios. And I was like, nope, sorry, not babysitting your kid. But the old me would have been like, they're going to be so mad if I don't. She's probably not going to talk to me if I tell her I can't. Like, I have to. And I was like, nope, sorry, can't. And I'm not like that with everything. I don't want everybody to feel like I'm like that with everything. But if it's something that I need to do for myself, I've learned now to say no. I have. So I was just like, yeah, no. And I was like, well, that's solved. Put the book down and was like, okay, I'm done. I'll give this back to her next time I see her after having it for 7 years or more. But but all joking aside, honestly, I'm glad that people write these kinds of books though, because I looked at that and I went, yeah, that was the old Heather. Like, this book ain't for me. This isn't for me. But there's so much good material out there though to read, and I'm not gonna get down this self-help book rabbit hole or any of that stuff, you guys. There's so much stuff out there though to look at. There's things I love a good gratitude journal. I think those are amazing. There's a lot of stuff out there. I always dote on Jen Sincero. I don't know how many times I'm going to talk about her on the show before she comes and joins me, but I just there's so many good things out there to look at. Men, women, there's all kinds of content out there to be able to find what it is that you need to help you through whatever it is that you're facing. And it's okay to lean on people. It's okay to talk to a therapist. It's okay to find a good doctor, whether it be a regular physician or holistic or whatever avenue that you guys go towards. I talk about therapy a lot because I have actually gone to the same therapist for a long time, since off and on, not constantly, but I met her when I was 15 years old, and I still to this day still do see her. It worked out for me through this past couple months when I was going through the stuff that I should have been seeing her. I haven't, and now I finally got a hold of her. I'm like, okay, now it's time to talk about the real stuff, because who wants to talk about that? But that's what I say. I talk about it on here to get your feelings out, to talk about it, to be real about it. And that's why I'm like, okay, if you're talking the talk, you need to walk the walk, and I really am putting myself there to go, okay, this is where we're at. We need to do this. So I love being able to sit here though and talk with you guys about all these kinds of things, and hopefully, I really hope that at least I can reach one person. I really hope to reach at least one person with this, and so you don't feel like you're alone. And there's just so many different things that I want to talk to you guys about, and I know I've been kind of all over, but really, we have so I talked about how amazing it is to have the phone, to be able to get on and research and do all these different things. And it is. It's great. It's great to have that. But I want to challenge you guys to see if you can give yourself a couple hours in the morning or night before bed or whatever it is in between, to give yourself some time and put your phone off to the side and really focus and think about that. Sit and think about what you've done. I'm just kidding. Sit and think about, what it is that you need to focus on and do. I love to be able to turn my phone on to listen to music, and it gets me going with all the stuff. I don't turn the sound on because I don't want to be notified. However, like I said before, it goes into my watch here, and then I know that I have to go look at my phone to find out what's going on, and I want to break away from that and not do that as much. Yes, it's great to have. There's so many things that little phone has capable of doing. And it helps me to be able to connect with my dad if I need something, whatever. But it is important to kind of just give yourself some time. Give yourself some time. Focus on what it is that you need, and don't be mean to yourself. If you've gone down a path that you probably shouldn't have, figure out why. What's going on? Why did that happen? Why did you create a misstep? What is the reasoning behind it? Instead of being angry at yourself, focus on what it is that you need to do to get back to where you were. Is that reaching out to somebody? Yeah, probably, maybe. Is it just going, okay, why did I do this? What was I feeling when I did this stuff? You just got to figure it out. Take a deep breath. Don't be angry at yourself, but don't continue to go down the path once you notice that that's what's going on. Find out why. Find out what you need to do to be successful in the on the path that you were going towards, or sometimes you have to tweak it. Sometimes you have to figure out what it is that you need to do to start a different path, but to be healthy about it and to find out what it is that will get you to where you were trying to go in the first place. I'm thankful that I can be raw and real about this stuff with you guys. Yes, it takes there's a good chance that people can say certain things, and I know that. I already know that when you put yourself online, there's all kinds of comments that can come at you, and I've seen a lot of that, and I went, okay, I've been fortunate, but I really, what matters most, you guys, is what you feel about yourself. It really does. We can go online all day long and we can put out a persona of who we think we are, who we want people to see, but really what matters is what you feel about yourself. And I think that that's a big thing about needing that time to do that. Even still at this age, I'm still learning things about myself. And like Adam said, I'm always changing. I'm always changing. There's always something different, and that's okay too. I don't know why there's that stigma that you have to be one way, or that you only have to do one thing and you only have to choose one career, just one thing. I've never been that way. I've always been somebody that goes after different things because I love a lot of different things and I feel passionate about that. I feel that that's I never fit into a box like that. I never fit in the box of I graduated, yes. I went to do some college, but I didn't fit in that box of hey, go to college and that's your career. I just didn't. And I still don't to this day I still don't. I still have so many passions of things, and some of the times that I've let myself not get into stuff is because I put too much fear in my head. I went, well, I don't have the money to do this. I don't have this. I don't have You'll never be able to get to where you need to if you continue creating roadblocks. And I've done that a lot. I've done that a lot in my life, and I'm like I said, when I talk to you guys, I think about a lot of things, like these roadblocks, these different things, and I'm really really thankful that I got a chance to stop today and to go, okay, why are you doing these things that are not beneficial? Why are you getting those roadblocks? And sometimes those roadblocks are your biggest excuse. Well, I did this, and it's not working. It's not working. I did 10 miles on the bike today. Did not lose a pound. It's not working. But we do that though. Like, you're like, well, I tried it. Didn't work out. You did 2 seconds on there. Like, we expect that though, that instant gratification, that instant weight loss, that instant whatever it is that we're going for. We expect it to happen. Like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna have this many followers by this time. It's like it's good to set ideas of what you want, but don't expect it to happen overnight. Sometimes, yeah, if you reach your goals right away, that's amazing. And I applaud you. I applaud you for going after it and getting it and doing all these things. But anybody who has ever went after something that they were passionate about knows it doesn't happen like that. It sometimes it don't. We talked about that. Tony had said earlier that when we started walking, did we just get up and were we just able to just walk and be really good at it? No. We fell into things, we bumped into things, we got bruises and cuts and all that stuff. So when you get a misstep, it's a bruise, it's a cut. You have to remember that, but that's another thing. Did we not we got back up. We kept trying, obviously, because here we are. And you have to remember that. It's not going to be instant. Sometimes it takes time. Unless you're a genius and you're able to do it right away. Like I said, I'm fascinated by you then. I really am. I'm not saying you can't go after it and you can't get it within a certain time frame, but for me it doesn't work that way. I have to work at it. But I have to not put a roadblock in my way to see if I can actually do these things. It took me a while, especially with doing the jewelry stuff. That's another thing that I'm very passionate about. It took me a while to figure out how to make those things work. And it's interesting because I'll meet different people and they'll say, "Well, that's art. that's an art piece, that's art. And I never thought of it that way because when I first started with these things, my first attempt at jewelry was earrings, and they were not bad, but they weren't. Luckily, it wasn't like noodles and stuff back in kindergarten. But no, when I decided to actually try to sell jewelry, I made earrings, and I sold one pair, and I made probably about 16 of them, and I sold one pair, and I was geeked about it, but it took a while. Like it took figuring out how to put them out there, how to do whatever. But I look back at some of the stuff when I first started into where I'm at now. I do the eyeglass lenses. And when I first had got them or got one, I actually drew on them like stained glass. I thought, well, that would be a good thing. Well, when I found them again, I went, oh, nope, I don't like that. So I cleaned them off and I tried again. And this was time, like down the road. It was quite a while, quite a ways down the road. And then I started doing stuff differently by putting jewels and different pieces on it. And then it changed to getting people's glasses of loved ones to make memory pieces. And but it took a long time to get to that point, to figure those things out and to think differently than where I was at. And I finally, when I got to that point, I went, okay. And then I start seeing things in other ways, and how to make things different in different ways. Like I said, I did learn some stuff on YouTube because it's amazing to be able to get on there and to learn those kinds of things. But that stuff I didn't. That stuff I was able to go, oh, okay. When I started with the circuit boards, I drilled them and I put wire through and I put stones and different things that way. And then finally I went, wait a minute, you can put these pieces on like you did this, but it's a process. And when I finally sold a piece from all those, I was like, whoa, okay, this is cool. But it took years. It took years to get to that point. It took years to put myself out there to get to that point to do that. So that's why I say, it's not always going to be an overnight kind of thing. It takes time. You have to get up, you have to walk, you have to learn your balance. And I get disheartened when I see people that try something, they don't go, they're not making stuff, they're not getting any money or whatever their goal is. And they quit so quickly. They didn't even give themselves a chance to figure that stuff out. And that's why I brought that up, because I come from a way it's been a change from where I started to where I'm at now. And I know that's with everything. That's with everything that I try to go after. And just not just me, other people that are going after stuff. It takes time. And I know that. So when I looked at the scale today and I seen that number, I went, okay, it's going to take time. But you have to give yourself time. And you can't put those roadblocks up. Just like everything else. Anything else that you're trying to go after, it takes time. And you have to really remember to get out of your way, to stay out of your way when you're going after it, because we can put those thoughts up in our heads quick and we can stop. It can halt us. And I've been there, and I talk about that because I've been there. I've done a lot of roadblocks and put myself off to the side, and at one point I went, okay, you need to get out of your way. You have to. Otherwise you're not going to keep on moving forward. And that's a hard lesson sometimes. That's a really hard lesson sometimes. But I know that it can be done. It can be done. Just have to believe in yourself. And however it is that you have to do it, if you have to create a list of things and highlight them, if you put it on your phone, if that's the best way to do it, then do it. Find something that will aid you in doing these things to help you get forward instead of going backwards. Remember too, you fall off track, get back on. Find a different way if you have to, whatever it is. But be kind to yourself and figure it out. Don't just say, okay, well, I fell off. That didn't work. Like figure out what works best for you. That might not have been the way for you. And maybe you have to figure something else out. If it's just not cutting it, keep researching. Keep looking. Don't stop at just one thing, It's not one size fits all in life at all. At all. It's never been. Like I feel like it should have been, but it's not. It's not. Weight loss and jobs, careers, your life, houses, all these things are not one size fits all. We all do do these things at different ages. Getting a house, getting married, having kids, not having kids. Everybody's so different. So different. And that's why we're individuals. It's why we're individuals. So we can figure these things out for ourselves so that we can not go and compete against other people. So we can find our own way. So we can find what we like. Yes, I find a lot of things now, which I kind of find funny. Things I used to tease my mom about, I do. A lot of the things that my mannerisms and things I find, like even the way I walk sometimes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm my mom. Totally my mom. And that's okay because I still keep my individuality. But that's the thing, we all are here, but we're all different. And we're all going after different things. Sometimes we find people and we go, hey, you like the same thing I like? All right, let's be friends. Hey, you want to go after this and do this thing? Yeah, okay, cool. Sometimes we find people that are like, what is wrong with you? Okay, cool. Bye. No, but seriously though, when you can find people along the way that support you in what you're doing and they have the same interests, it's cool. It's cool to do that. Again though, we're all individuals. I find a lot of things. The more I hang out with Dawn, the more I find out that we have a lot in common, which is awesome. I'm like, all right, I'm glad. It's time hanging out with Tony. I find out that we have a lot of things that we're not in common, but I'm still like, okay, we're cool. He's making faces over there. Anyhow, I'm gonna wrap this up with a little bow. I just want you guys to remember, you are enough. Please remember, you are enough. No matter how many times you have to get up off of that floor to figure it out, you can do it. You can do it. You have to believe in yourself. To ask others to believe in you is a really tall order sometimes. We sometimes do have people in our life that really love and support us, but you have to remember to believe in yourself. You have to love yourself no matter where you're at, good, bad, ugly. You have to love yourself, but it doesn't mean you have to love yourself completely before you start healing and start going forward. You can do this. Remember as well, take that time, find some time off away from the phone, away from electronics if you have to. Put on some old school CDs. I don't care what you do, but give yourself some time. This thing, I feel, creates a lot of anxiety as well as this thing. I'm not telling you to go live in the woods. I'm not telling you to just completely get rid of your phone and chuck it out the window right now. Not saying that. Let's not be extreme. That's not what I'm saying at all. But take some time for yourself. Right now with the winter where we're at, it's kind of hard to get out. I love going to the beach and just being like, yeah, phone stay in the car. I am, well, not in the car because it gets so hot here too, but you know what I mean though. Like I don't care about taking a picture. I'm seeing this. This is gorgeous and I need this right now. And it's hard sometimes in the wintertime, but find your space. Find a place, find your space. Take some time for yourself. Set your phone off to the side, whatever it is that you do to unwind and get back to yourself. Give to yourself. Give some love. Find something that sets your soul on fire again. Sometimes we lose that. Sometimes we don't have that passion and we need to find it again. But I do believe in you guys and I do really appreciate and love you guys for joining me and hanging out here. I will continue to keep going as long as you guys are here. Even if you're not, I'll still keep talking because it helps. Talking helps. It really does. So take care of yourself this week. I want to know what you guys feel or how your week goes. If you do set some time aside, I want to know how you guys are feeling. Don't forget to check out Facebook. We do have a Facebook page as well. I do get re-aired as all of our Strange Friends media channels get re-aired on solidstateradio.net with all kinds of different shows that you guys can tune into. And they do too over there at solidstateradio.net as well. So please check that out. Again, Facebook, we have Instagram as well. And those are all of the channels that we have under the Strange Friends Media group. We have Crystal LaFay will be coming back shortly, and I can't wait for that. A lot of positive there. Don't Make This Weird is on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. Initiative Impossible is on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday at 6:30. We have Guitar Fridays on Friday at 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock on that night. Chill Stream Saturdays are at 7:30. Also on Saturdays we have This Is My Brain podcast, and I believe that starts around the same time, maybe a little bit later. And we also have Tuesday Night Rants that is from the host of This Is My Brain podcast. And Motivational Mondays, I have kind of had some days where I go, oh, it's Monday. That happens. But I thank you guys when you tune in when I do that as well. And I think I covered everything. All right. So if you guys get a chance, go check all those out. Love, subscribe, support, love, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We do appreciate it. We do. We get excited when we see that we have new subscribers all the time. And we love all the old subscribers as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, guys, life is best lived.